Morning everybody, and so where am I up to? Okay, um, so my first story was just making the backup. So we've made the backup and it was all beautiful. Um, it's, where is it? It's in here. Minecraft, saves, no, I don't. So I've put a few things on my desktop for the moment. It's made it a little bit messy. I'll get to that later, but the first thing is that I want to put my backups a little bit. I just want to move that one because I've been mucking around with it. Yeah, suppose I can move that one as well. So it's basically that I want to, I don't need that anymore. Alright, so where am I up to? So the first one was the backups. Then I left you going, yeah, this will be working. It didn't quite happen like that. So okay, here's a good place to start. So I initially downloaded this one here because when I read something, I thought I needed to do 1180. I saw that as matching. It turned out that it wasn't. But if you do actually have something that does match the older version of 1.7.104, you're going to need to download Java 7. So the Java 7, I will be trying to give you all the links, but Java 7 can be found exactly here. As you can see, I've clicked on Environment 7, and that's the one, and it actually popped up with a screen. Like, it didn't just crash. But then, of course, I have no guarantees because I never actually got it to work because I don't have any mods that old, as a matter of fact. Close! Very close. As you can see, there's no extra digits on the end of that to let you know. But yeah, that kind of worked. So anyway, so I downloaded Forge 1448 is the one that I actually needed. So that's been downloaded, and that actually works, and it comes up with a screen, and I'll show you the screen. It's very pretty. I'm going to say that everything that works. It's very pretty. This is another good site for giving you pretty accurate. Like, there's a lot of them, and most of them work. That I found. I've downloaded quite a few since my initial nightmare. You create, because I haven't showed you yet, you create a new Forge profile. That should basically happen when you install. So obviously the installation, I don't fancy anybody as an idiot, but you open. See, if it's a jar file, that's different from a .exe file, obviously. Most jar files, so getting into that's just easy. You just run that. When you're doing the mods, if you come down with a zip, you have to unzip it. 7-zip file manager is much better for. I mean, I'm not doing an enterprise, so I don't really need WinRAR, but you could get WinRAR. So a jar file, generally speaking, you shouldn't have to unzip it, but just in case you do have to unzip or anything, so you go into your shortcut, created wherever. So you create this folder, generally, you check it, probably isn't there, create it. And then if you need a cover folder, so these are jar files. They actually run. You don't have to um, unzip them. This one here, I've unzipped and I've just created a new folder and labeled it thusly, and then copied that and unzipped it basically, and unzipped it to here, so it comes in underneath the folder. It's easy enough, isn't it? Not obvious, but easy. And you get the hang of it, and suddenly it's like, well, and then it's harder to show people. So that's why I like to show people when I don't know as much, because I could go through it with you step by step. Yeah, the more that I know, the less that I tend to show. So that's not such a good thing, is it? So as you can see, I've got 111, whatever, 1180, 1448. Then I've also downloaded a couple 1.8s, simply because most mods will be running 1.8. I thought that was the latest one when I clicked on it, because the site is very deceptive. And then yesterday I looked on the site again, and there's that one, and it still didn't match the NPC mod, funnily enough. Yeah, so when you're using the really old Java file, you need to download Java 7 and basically save it in here, side by side with the 1.8. You want to put them separately so that you could still run your internet. That is a thing. That is definitely a thing. If you're running a really old Forge, and it won't run on Java 8, you need to get in Java 7 and stick it side by side with the other one. They won't conflict. I haven't found any conflict. I mean, yeah. Anyway, you put it in side by side, and then you redirect this, obviously. So you find this, copy. Right click still doesn't work. Copy. Pick a. Yeah, that looks good. So I mean, put it in here, and then you can redirect that. I'm not going to, because I don't have any old mods like that. As it, so I clicked on that. So right now I'm running. Which one am I running? 1.8. I'm on 1.7. So as you can see here, so now I want to run a 1.7.1. Now sometimes you're going to have to get back to your old profile. Whenever it spits the dummy, you go into your old profile and reset it to 1.7.10, press play, exit out of it. I know there's a mod where you don't have to exit out of things. I don't see that as a real big deal. But so now Forge is going to be running 1.7.10. So when you look in here, you've got, this says release Forge, that says Forge, that says Forge on the left down here, that says Forge on the right down there. I know you can't see my cursor. But anyway, so that's that. So then the other thing you want to make sure of when you're testing mods and playing with mods, only put in one at a time. So I've got a file on my desktop here that says swapped out mods. I've made it nice and orderly. That's texture pack. It really, the green really was very green. I like green. I don't like green quite that much. I want to do things a bit more. It's very pretty, but it was a little too green for poor old me. This one here, so I might tinker a bit more with my new texture pack. There's a lovely texture pack, but for example, I don't like the sheep. Um, when you play with texture packs, there's a conflicting in the size of the files. So I think that there's 16 by 16, there's 32 by 32, and I think the latest ones run 64 by 64. So that's not a whole lot of fun when you're trying to trying to paste together some texture files. You've got to be very careful about the size of the files, and I didn't, and it didn't work. So, but I managed to fix up the green, so it wasn't so mind-blowing. There you go, mind-blowing. So I've created two swapped out folders. So this is 1.7. So if I go in here, I've got a whole bunch of 1.8s. So I want to get rid of my 1.8s. Oh, that's fun. Okay, code chicken, and not enough items. That's in here. Code chicken goes in there. Not enough items. Code chicken there. There you go. Okay, so that's nice and tidy. I won't lose things and go insane. I mean, I might be over tidy here, but frankly, after what I've been through, I think I've done pretty good. This one here has been crashing. It's been crashing within the game, so like you suddenly you're stuck and then it closes down. I don't mind that because at least the game is opened up. I know what's going on. Oh, why is that highlighted? Schematica. So those all that you saw there, apart from the NPC, which sort of works but also crashes. It crashes in-game. All these are working. So I've got all these nice and tidy in this folder in 1.8. So now I want to play 1.7.1. These all work. I haven't actually tried to Cam Studio in 1.7. Not a big deal. So I've just dragged those all because I haven't labeled it. Click in here. Mental note for last time. That one there runs with, well, I don't know anymore. They all work. That's not spelled right. So that works with this one. That's a little book. That's very nice to have a little book. Anyway, so I'll keep that. Oh, hang on. Give up on those. Oh no, it did work. I played with that last night. So that is a camera studio. So that's a video recording type stuff. The wall teleporters isn't in 1.8. The tall door isn't in 1.8. On the other side of that, the little door that would give you a 2x4. I'm looking for a 2x3. A wall teleporters, you could pretty much get away with using the command block. I mean, I've seen some amazing things with command blocks. I probably won't be doing them, but I know how to teleport. If you do it right, you'll have to put in the effort. Well, I guess this is true for everything, isn't it? So anyway, so there's my swapped out mods. These all work. That one sort of works, I'd say, because the forge isn't exact. They are doing a lot of updates, so I wouldn't want to. That doesn't really bother me, except that I opened it up in my project, which is why I needed to grab that stuff off the USB that I saved earlier. What else? I don't think there's a whole lot else. That make sure when you're testing things that you do them one by one, swap them out, swap them in, swap them out, swap them in, because, um, the dialect one won't work on my computer. Um, I've tried that again, 1.7, still didn't work. It just didn't work. Um, which is why the custom NPC works a whole lot better, because it crashes in game. This one doesn't get you to the game. Yeah. So I've tried whole lot of things, and say for example, if you accidentally have two of these in here, then it's going to have a fit saying, "You've got two of these in here. What are you doing?" That sort of thing. There are a lot of things that aren't obvious. And the main one would be your Java 7. So when you are trying to find a problem, this is how you figure out to fix it. You go into your logs, you grab the latest, you click on there, and you go and you try and find it. You're looking for the negative. You don't have to. I mean, when I say read, I'm talking about scanning, looking for negative stuff not found, core mod data in custom NPCs. This is me reading it for myself. Most people, I mean, no, I'm not saying that. When you look on the internet, someone has submitted that, the whole thing, Control A. I just try and read the negative and see if anybody else has come up with a solution. I would suggest that first. People get a bit cross and bothered if they get people saying, "I got a problem," and they're like, "Well, what?" Following texture errors were found. So, a person will look at that and say, "You're an idiot. Here's the problem. So you want to try and find it for yourself." But there's definitely something wrong in here. It didn't come right. So, to that end, that was my last. So what have I done over here? So I've downloaded this one here in 1.7.10. So I am breezing through this. I've got a I stayed up to a awful hour on Saturday night, and it buggered me up. Um, Basically, though, it was a bit of a rant, because I had somebody in the internet, when you're searching for help, and when you're looking in the forums, and every time you look, somebody is basically calling you an idiot. I'll reserve my judgments. Um, yeah. So I'm not even going to go there. You Google it, and someone starts insulting you. It wasn't good, and it caused me to stay up to 2 o'clock in the morning, because I don't like people calling me an idiot, basically. Well, fair enough if I'd done something a bit stupid, that, I realize it, but yeah, I like criticism, it's helpful. I don't like comments. It's like, that was unnecessary, uncalled for. And yeah, but, okay, it works, and, so I've tried this, I'm going to try this NPC thing in 1.7.10, but, in all honesty, most of my downloads have turned into, 1.8. Let's see, for example, I've got the wallpapers in 1.8. I can fix the texture mod, the texture resource pack, sorry. The camera, the schematics is very important for what I'm doing. that's that's a whole lot of fun. um, I'll go through these mods when I'm playing, and I'll point each one out. It's a shame about the teleporting wall. That will give you a different kind of user interface rather than the command block, which you yeah. Anyway, it's probably a command block in disguise, in all honesty. Anyway, the 1.8 is what I'm working on now, because it was a later version of 1.7.10 Forge, so it actually works there. If it doesn't, try 7. Check your logs. Try to scan your logs yourself before plastering it over the internet, because people get cranky. You don't want people being cranky at you. Try them all one at a time. Unzip, create a cover folder. If there's a jar, try putting it in straight. Yeah. So that's pretty much it. 1.7, 1.7. Just check your game directory every time you're turning around. Every time you turn around, check your game directory. 1.7 stuff is in there, so that's good. Okay, make sure it always matches. Make sure you don't have anything in there you don't need. The next one here, so profile, play, Forge. Everywhere you go, see Forge. And you should see a split. If you don't, I'll say split. You'll see what I mean in a minute. If you've been playing vanilla, you'll definitely see a difference in your opening screen. I'll still take. There you go. There's a little silhouette of the anvil. Very fitting. Yeah. So there's a couple of next steps. This one is try the NPC in the 1.7, and what? Yeah, I think I've downloaded just about everything, everything that I could possibly get my hands on. Damage indicators, custom NPCs. This one was a very good website. So in this website, this is an awesome website. Where is it? Where's the main? So this is a mod-minecraft.net is really good, and it's also very good because oftentimes, if you look for a while, you will see a lot of help. And you'll see the diamond minecart, or you'll see somebody else, or you'll see a video in Spanish, which is not overly helpful. I mean, if I was Spanish, it would be. But you catch my drift. If you watch enough of these, you'll go, oh yeah, you'll become familiar. So this is a very good website. I can't recommend this mod-minecraft.net enough. Yeah. Make sure you know. Yeah. Always make sure you have good firewall software program. So here is your screen. So as it when you're testing, it should say 4 mods loaded, 4 mods active, and you check in here, and you should see these 3 here. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to. Those 3 obviously related to Forge, and then say for an example, your next program is Totals, and that's 4. Sometimes the configuration button at the bottom will pop up. Disable fuel. Camera studio. So you should see all these things. So one at a time, and then then you start combining them. When you do them one at a time, create a new world. So I don't even know what I was doing anymore. It's definitely try to clean up your worlds if you've been test worlding. When you test world, always change it to creative so that you can actually fly around and see if it's any good. Can't point that out enough. It automatically sets to survival, and if you're half zombified, you will end up in survival going, where's my inventory? Yeah. I have turtles, I have a whole bunch of things that actually worked. I've no idea. So create a new world, go into creative. I stopped naming them and create a new world. So this is 1.7.10. You want to try and put that in your name, so you know when you're skipping backwards and forwards in time. Trials of a Time Machine. So yeah, I'll go through how each mod tends to work. So Camera Studio works with an O, not a 0. Setting a point. Oh, well, schematic, that's in 1.8. I'll go through them all one by one. So when you're looking for a mod inventory, it'll be in this little arrow over here at the top. So you can see here that I've got the guidebook, I've got the tall doors, I've got the mod, I've got the wall porters. They all are in here in their special tabs, so that's really helpful. Yeah, it should be a bit easier in creative. But meanwhile, what is that? Oh, it's a torch! So you can see that I have got these guys are weird. They're also very creepy. I will go through the workings of each of these mods and showcase them a little bit as I'm. God, scary man. So this is a texture pack, quite clearly. It's very green, and this is after I've changed the green, so it's still very green, and that guy is scary. So it works. So as you can see, by my inventory and by already created. What's that? Anyway, that works. It all works. The NPC thing, however, it doesn't quite work. The Dalek mod, I couldn't get that to work. It's not a big deal. I didn't really want to play with Daleks terribly. They're a bit too scary, so it's she who likes to play with vampires. Yeah, so anyway, I can't recommend this website enough. And if you get a download that so for example, where is it? Perfect spawn. So for example, okay, the instructions are here. They're very I'm going to forget them type instructions. Like this is very like MS-DOS type stuff. So I've copied that and created a I've created a Minecraft resources folder, and I put things in there. So I'll copy that, put that into a doc. Um, so there's your instructions in there. For example, there's instructions on creating mobs on demand. There's a picture of something, the way that's supposed to look. That was not easy. Instructions, pictures, everything you can grab. So Minecraft resources are a big thing if you want to try and do a large project. I think maybe I should show you skins. So you log into your Minecraft.net. So this Game Dir is very, very useful. I can't recommend it enough. You can change your skin in your Minecraft.net profile. You do have to log in though, and then that's too obvious to go into. Mucking about. Anyway, that's generally everything. Yeah, so everything, and it took me about half an hour just to breeze through it. So it's not always obvious, but once you get going, then it is. And then somebody who is sitting there with tons of experience will look back and go, "You're an idiot." Ignore them. Just try really hard to ignore them. You're new. That is a very different thing from being an idiot. If you're not a techno geek, that's also not being an idiot. It's a huge gap. So don't let that get you down. Don't let them balk you. Don't let them get you cranky. You can do it. It's not straightforward, but then you get into the hang of it. It's yeah. So it's not straightforward, and you go in and you'll get these crash reports at the top, and you read them, and that doesn't help. You look for the negative thing, the very first negative thing. You try to knock it off in your so you go in here and look for the negative thing. So you're just scanning it, looking for a negative thing, and then you try to interpret. Oh, it's about Java, or oh, it's about the mod itself, or maybe it's Forge. I keep forgetting that it could be Forge. You could have the wrong copy of Forge. Now I have 3 Forges downloaded, 3 Forges loaded. So it could be Forge, it could be Java, it could be the mod actually doesn't work. So yeah, so if you're having problems, take all the mods out, get them all out, completely empty out. Got 2 of those. Completely empty out your mods folder. Just completely empty it out. Just nothing in there whatsoever for the computer to have a fit. And then you can say, is it Forge? Is it Java? So the first step is getting to Forge itself to work. And then one by one, you slot these in, slot them out, and that's really it. And negativity, you don't need people without patience. It's hard enough. Anyway, so that is me, and this has been Minecraft for today, and now I have not just 2 profiles, but 3. This one here, sort of, I've got the historical and I've got the new one. The NPCs doesn't quite work yet for me. The Daleks don't work at all. Not a huge thing. I'd like the NPCs to work. That would be really nice. Other than that, that's it. So Good luck, everybody. Happy searching.